surprise. But remember, I told y'all that I was going to start going live randomly. And we have a lot to discuss because it's just been a lot going on this week, and it's only Wednesday. So, how's everyone? I hope everyone is having a wonderful week. We are here for a Diva Disturb where we talk headlines, random stories about my life, and I'm also asking you if you're new here, please subscribe. I need your subscriptions, okay? I'm trying to get my account back up to a monetized status. I know I've been gone a long time, but I'm trying to be a little bit more consistent um, with coming on. I know I don't do formal announcements. I just kind of do it and hope for the best. The last time I was on here was Friday, and let me tell y'all, I think I got censored by YouTube. They didn't like me talking about that man that got shot in Utah, so we won't be covering too much of that, but we will touch on this very interesting memorial service that they had for him at the Cincinnati, Arizona. What was it? The Cardinal Stadium. They had it. So, anyways, just want to start off with some stories about what happened to me. So, I forgot to share this last week. So, the other week, I went to Trader Joe's Saturday night. And so I pretty much, since I've moved to Vegas now, have come to the conclusion that I need to just shop at night because it's hot as hell during the day. Although now the temperatures are tolerable and make more sense. Because now we're getting down to the 90s versus being in triple digits, right? So, anyways, I went out. I had on my Jill Scott t shirt from her Woman tour when I went to see it in LA at the Greek. I don't even remember how long ago that was, but I've been living a dream, believing something that just ain't true. So, anyways, so it was this gentleman that was checking me out, one of the cashiers or one of the store clerks at Trader Joe's, named Tom. And so, hi Ramu. So he saw my T-shirt, and he goes, "I didn't know she was an actress." And I said, "Yeah." I said, "She acts, she sings, she writes, she produces. You know, she does a little bit of everything." I said, "I love me some Jill Scott." He said, "I do too, cause you know I be watching Tyler Perry." Now, y'all, um, Tom is a older white man. Um, mm, y'all know I don't tolerate nasty language on my channel. Um, So anyway, Tom goes, "Yeah." I said, "Really? You watch Tyler Perry?" And he's like this tall, older white man, probably in his 60s. And he goes, "Yeah, but my wife is also a black woman too." I was like, "Oh, okay, okay." Hello, everyone. Hello. Some of you are speaking in a language I don't understand, so I don't know if you're insulting me or saying hello to me. So either way, hello, welcome. Buenos dias. Uh, what is it? Hola, mon ami. Bonjour. Anywho, so anyways, I was cracking up laughing, but he was so sweet and so kind, and he told me to watch a movie. And oh, I can't remember. I was looking for it, and I don't even remember the name of the movie, but he gave me a movie recommendation as well. Then on top of that, I've been meaning to share, but I just thought that was a little funny. Also today, I decided to get out the office because I usually just stay in the office, and I decided, you know what, I really want a burger. And at first, I thought about going to Claim Jumpers, which is like not too far from the office. And so then I decided, okay, we're going to go to Shake Shack. I love Shake Shack. If you've not had Shake Shack, their burgers are really good. They're all juicy and moist and delicious. As a matter of fact, I just thought about someone needs to finish my burger because here's why. So anyway, I was um, sitting there at the table because I decided to have lunch out. I rarely leave the office, and I've always been like that. And I also take lunch late, but I had a 3 o'clock meeting, so I left around 1:20, 1:30. So I'm sitting there and I'm playing on my phone, posting stuff to my Facebook and, commenting and for shits and giggles, just having a good little time by myself. And the young lady comes by, y'all. Why she trying to take my tray? It was like half a burger and I still had fries in my basket. I mean, I'm like, okay, girl. I said, no, I'm still eating. She goes, oh, I didn't see that. I'm like, girl, are you dazed and confused? That reminded me of back in the day when a bunch of my now friends that are more like family, when I worked for another organization, when we all lived and worked in Long Beach, we were at this place, I think it's called Islands, and we used to go down there for lunch. It's like one of them places that is cool, but uh, you look. Molly Bell asked me. She said, "You look oddly familiar. Have you been on TV?" Yes, I have. I've been on back in 2007. You probably caught me on an episode of uh, Entourage, and I was a background actress. But you could see me plain as day. I used to work for Variety magazine, and so we got to be in it. I also was in a movie called Obama Land, which is a feature film certain people that can call in. So if you've probably seen me on there, and I also do used to do stand up comedy and all that good stuff. So yeah, you might have seen me on TV. So anyway, she tried to take it, but the same stuff happened to us when we were in. Thank you, Molly. You're very kind. Um, Hold on, y'all. Let me send a message. So certain people I let are able to call me while others are not. So anyways, we were there, and so my friend Chris had come to visit because he was working in the Minnesota offices for the company. And so we all decided to go to lunch with him there. And why that girl kept trying, the server kept trying to take our food. I said, this heifer is rest to go and wants her tip. Y'all, just I know it sucks sometimes to be, serving people or whatever, but y'all need to be patient with us because some of us are slow eaters. Okay, I said, damn. And plus, as much as I paid for this burger, you think I'm gonna let you take my tray away? Hell, I'm gonna eat the fries too, even if I put them in the air heater. Hey, what's up means for you? Look at you catching the laugh. All right, that's what's up. Anyway, let's see. Those are my stories of the day. But also I wanted to share that if you do come to Vegas, please know that Vegas currently is having a fire sale. All of the things that you can think of, you now need to book your travel before September 26th. There's a major sale because they say that tourism is down here in Vegas, probably because of all of the things going on with we don't know if we going to get accosted in the airport by ICE or what's going to happen. That's probably why, because people scared to come to America because it's, in other countries have put us on travel bans and warnings. Um, but if you get to come to Vegas, I don't know how long the show runs, but at Mandalay Bay, which is an MGM property, they have Bob Marley's Hope Road. Now, I've never really been into reggae, and I'm kind of like, okay, I'll go because now at this point, after all the shit I've been through, I'm making myself more open and available to experience new things and just go with the flow. Cause like, you know what? Why not? Let's go. So we went and I really enjoyed it. It's interactive. So you move from room to room. It takes you through his life. Hi, Black Belt Amber. How are you, sweetie? Welcome. And so I really enjoyed it. It's interactive. If you get to go, the DJ that you'll see is actually Bob Marley's granddaughter, one of his granddaughters. And I think her dad, it's so many of them, but I think her dad is Steven. I don't know. But she's so pretty. She's a cute little thing and she's very friendly. Um, Good. It is my birthday. Oh, happy early birthday. Everybody give Black Belt Amber a happy birthday. I believe she will be turning 13. Is it 13, Amber? So, hello, Roly Poly. Let's see. Let's see. This is. Oh yeah, we'll keep you hidden. You don't need to be seen. 12. She's turning 12. So everyone give her a happy birthday. She is still a tween. I remember when I was 12. I was so ready to be grown. But anyways, just want to tell y'all it's very exciting. The last room that you go into, they'll give you 3D glasses. Um, and Tree Killer, you done just killed it for yourself. Goodbye. Very inappropriate. Um, but I was there, y'all. And so this dude named Mike, and how do I know his name is Mike? Not because he told me during this conversation, but if y'all ever remember me doing jokes back in the day, and I don't know if this one I ever put online, but it was one where I do about how I must have a sign on my forehead that says "We'll talk to crazy," because if it's just one crazy person in any vicinity, they're gonna come find me and talk to me and say crazy stuff. Well, yeah, Mike was the crazy person at the Bob Marley Hope Road presentation. There I am. Thank you, Amber. There I am sitting there minding my business, chilling in the cut. Now, mind you, I was with two other friends, but I just chose to sit down because I have an old injury from being in the military, and sometimes it bothers me. So sometimes I have to sit. Okay. So, anyways, I'm chilling in the cut in the back, just enjoying the wonderment of the presentation. And this dude leans over and says, "Hey, how are you doing?" And I'm like, "Yo ass is drunk as a skunk, ain't you?" And then he wanted to talk to me. He asked me what I do for a living. I said, "I manage rich people's money, but I don't have any." And so then he wanted to talk to me about the fact that he's a retired or about to retire from the state of New Mexico. And I'm thinking to myself, why are you talking to me? And who is that woman with you? Is that like your sister, your wife, your cousin, girlfriend? Who is she? She need to come get you. Okay. I said, "Sir, I would really like to enjoy the show." But of course, and then he gonna ask me, do I have business cards? And no, I don't have business cards. And even if I did have them, I would not be giving them to you, sir. Needless to say, overall, if you come to Vegas, again, if y'all book y'all's travel on or before the 26th of September, they are giving massive discounts in the city of Vegas for you to come here. Okay? Hey, it's actually fun because Saturday, one of my homegirls came in from LA that I'm really close to. We haven't seen each other in a while. She was here. They went to the Breezy concert. I did not go. First of all, I got to be more practical about what I do with my money. And um, I just want to. I wanted to go support Breezy, but that Christopher Maurice Brown will understand why Mama couldn't come see him. So either way, they came, but we ended up going to Fremont Street with one of the other girls that's a coworker of hers, because my friend is a nurse, and so they wanted to blow off some steam because they're surgical nurses and stuff. So hey, but either way, we went to Fremont Street. Y'all, when I say Vegas is not a real place, Fremont Street is part of Vegas, is not a real place. It was wild. Okay, you tell me it was wild. You're gonna see some things. And then to make it even wilder, it was Oktoberfest this weekend. So either way, I had a great time. But let's just say that again, the diva realizes that she is older. I'm not old, far from that, and probably never will be old in my mind. But I was out with them from 3, but we didn't leave the hotel until like 7. We were just chilling, sipping, and drinking and stuff. Is Vegas as good as people say it is? I think it is, especially considering that I had an off strip experience. And because I don't go to the strip unless my friends and family come visit, which has been pretty frequent. I have a question. Why do you keep on dyeing your hair? Oh my God. Ever ask me why do I keep dyeing my hair? It's funny. One of my coworkers, one of the young people that I work with, who I have the privilege of working with, who I just adore, he was like, "Did you cut your hair?" And I'm like, "Babe, let me tell you something. I can change my hair every day. Mama, Miss Diva wears wigs every day. Okay, unless I get braids or something like that. But if you've ever been part of my story, y'all know that the last year and a half has not been good to me. But I'm back on the uptick, and yeah, I need to go have all of my hair shaved off that's underneath here. It broke off with all the stress I was under from the past year and a half. So, anyways, that was fun. Vegas is a fun place. You don't have to just go be on the strip. There are great places to visit and see outside of that. Yeah, remember I shared with you guys in earlier videos since I've come back on that my dad died and my ex left me, 2 weeks after I buried my dad, and lost my job, lost my house, didn't know if I was going to be homeless, didn't know what was going to happen to me and my dogs. Thank God I met a very nice gentleman who looks out for us. So, very loving relationship. Thank God. Um, but anyways, let's get into some of this weird stuff that's going on in the world right now. Um, but I want to tell y'all why I got in at midnight. I probably didn't go to sleep until 2, but still, usually I'm up by like 9 or 10 if I fall asleep like that. Um, and yeah, I didn't get up till 3 at 3 p.m. Because what I was doing, I was sitting up there watching Beauty and Black on Netflix. I don't care what nobody say. That's a good show. Hey Penelope, how are you? Welcome. So, anyways, y'all, I discussed Bob Marley, Shake Shack. Okay, ABC, Disney. Let's talk about it. So, as you know, Jimmy Kimmel got kicked off. Oh, good. That's good. That's good, Penelope. Jimmy Kimmel got kicked off the air. He got suspended indefinitely initially, right? And it was a huge fallout because of comments where I believe he didn't even mention um, that man that got shot in Utah. And needless to say, ABC or Disney, who I think Disney is the parent company because it's Disney. Disney owns ABC, ESPN, Hulu, all of that, right? So, not them going up in prices after y'all cancel. Baby, first of all, I don't even have a Hulu account anymore because when I was, out on the struggle bus, I couldn't even afford to pay $9.99 a month because that $9.99 need to go save my American Express, okay? Because that's about the. Actually, I only have two credit cards out of the many that I had. My Discover and my American Express survived. I wish I could have saved a couple of my visas, but oh well. Anyway, we back on the road again. We gonna offer some settlement agreements and clean credit, okay? Um, so ABC, right? And one of the biggest affiliates that have licensing to distribute and broadcast ABC programming is Sinclair Media or Broadcast Media, I think is the name of the company. So after all these people canceled all their streaming subscriptions and started not like watching ABC and all this stuff, they were like, "Oh my God, we need to bring him back." And it's really sad. I'm like, who is driving the bus? Y'all supposed to be some of the smartest people in the room, and yet y'all don't get it. Y'all gonna learn. Y'all gonna FAFO just like Target did and everyone else. So now Jimmy Kimmel is back, but Sinclair still refuses to stream or run or broadcast his shows. I think ABC needs to reconsider who they give licensing to because you can do that. Y'all need to review your licensing agreement with Sinclair. And then somebody was saying that part of the problem, what's the name of this company? There's another company called Nexstar and Tegna. They also are trying to do a merger. Okay. And they believe that's why, um, you know, ABC or Disney acted in the manner in which they did, right? Not to mention, ABC settled what, a $16 million lawsuit with Angry Wig, and now since Jimmy Kimmel has come back, uh, they, you know, here he comes suing again, and ABC settled with him in hopes that he would leave them alone. But let me tell you something. Angry Wig is up for for me. You are glitching. Oh shit, I hope not. Something's been wrong with my internet today. Am I glitching, y'all? Anybody else? Am I glitching? I probably am. Hell, for all we know, YouTube probably trying to censor my analysis. But the internet, the biggest one in town is Cox, and they expensive. Okay, good. Only for a second. So ABC settled with Angry Wig, right? Here he come again because he mad because he want to sue them again because Jimmy Kimmel got brought out. My thing is this: y'all need to stop acting like, one, the Constitution doesn't exist, and two, that Amendment 1 does not exist. The First Amendment, that's the right to free speech, media, freedom of the press, all of that. And they're trying to censor that just like they did in 19th century Germany after the Great Depression, if you really think about it. I mean, Stephen Miller, who I did not know this, is a Jew or Jewish, as they are, as some of my friends are referred to as. Um, Hate speech from what was his name? Peter Grobel or whatever he was. He was the main propagandist for Hitler and the Third Reich and all of that. And he basically said verbatim, and I'm thinking to myself, your people were persecuted by the very people you're quoting. How can you even co-sign that? But it's just like we say in the black community, all skin folk ain't kinfolk. Okay? Penelope said that ABC might pull live sports from Sinclair. So, I mean, we the people, I think that Jimmy Kimmel's return to TV, I wish we had done it for Colbert. I don't know why. I think we still can do it. It's not too late if everybody would stop subscribing to Paramount, CBS. There's so much great programming on all these streaming platforms. They know that that's not going to happen. But somebody said, I wonder if all the Angry Weeks cult followers are going to cancel their Hulu. I say it wouldn't do any damage because it's more of us than it is of them. It really wouldn't. But when Disney saw them billions of dollars going out the door, they knew they had to bend to the will of the people because we're not going to bend to your will. Okay? And then on top of that, have the audacity to talk about raising prices. I said, read the room, Disney. The executives over there are not that bright. It's obvious. Y'all cannot read a room. We're not going to pay. We already were going to cancel. You showed your hand. The only reason that I will continue to even watch my shared Hulu is because, thank you, Amber. Amber said, I'm a nice YouTuber. I try to be. Disney has followed, they've been making the worst movies. You know, what we gonna do about it, really? What are we gonna do about it? Um, I think that the problem with Hollywood overall in general is that they choose not to take risk on perfectly good material. I have friends who have written some great scripts that would be great for Hollywood. They're original. Uh, they, some are reminiscent of old school. Like one of my friends, I've been meaning to ask him, whatever happened with this? Uh, it kind of reminded me of Love Jones' LA version in a way, but it was an originally written script. I have another friend who does a lot of sci-fi and things that make you think. I also have been part of productions, for short films that we were hoping to expand into a bigger, into a feature film. But Hollywood really loves to do remakes. They don't like to do, like, every time I turn around, they want to remake something. And I'm like, please stop. We want original material or at least source materials, like use books. You know, there's so many great books I've read, from my childhood on. I just saw that Miss Nelson is Missing, which was a book we read in elementary school. They're gonna produce that. So just something to consider. But Hollywood just, I don't know. I don't know if they'll ever read the room. But with Disney and y'all, Hulu, y'all got the audacity. Let me say this. So today I checked my email. I said, let me see if Hulu sent me something to resubscribe. They did. So for the next 6 months, if I sign up on my own account, guess what? I can get the next 6 months for $2.99 a month. But then what's my rate gonna be after that? Is it gonna be $9.99 or $11.99? Because y'all said y'all were gonna bring these up $3, $4, $5. Okay. Some people who have live TV and all of that, they're gonna have to pay out the wazoo. It's like, and also read the room. Our economy is shot to hell. Okay. Many of us are being laid off from our jobs. Means for you. Say, I miss old movies. Yep, I miss them too. That's why I watch them all the time. Okay. There's live TV apps for free 99. Oh yeah, Tubi, Freevee, uh, God rest my dad's soul. He set up my Plex account. I like when I was in second. I like then I was in second grade. I like the Owl Diary. I've never heard of that one. That must not have been out in the 80s. Uh, y'all know I'm older. Okay. So either way, I don't understand Hollywood, and I may never, and maybe that's why I'm not in it. I remember I used to want to work for Sony so bad, and I remember my friend Brian was telling me, "You don't want to work for Sony." He said they are one of the worst companies to work for, and I believe it. He had a friend that worked in their legal, and they were very like I mean, they were overly protective. They were mean to their lower staff. And then I can tell by how they censor people's videos on social media. Like no other record label goes after copyright infringements the way that they do. My thing is, at this point, if it's under 15 seconds or 30 seconds, what type of infringement is it really? If people are like Michael Jackson, Beyonce, those two always get Prince, Sony. Okay. So, as you know, Forbes has an article out, and many people have articles out about this. Amber, you need to be in bed. You young, yeah. I know. Don't she need to be in bed? She hanging with the big dogs. Um, no friends in the pipeline. Why 300,000 black women were pushed out of the workforce. Now, since Angry Wig administration has taken place, we have seen massive layoffs in federal government. All of us who are old enough to comprehend and understand that when we got into the workforce, many people said, get you a government job, a federal job, that's secure, it comes with a pension, you can retire, all these great things. Well, Angry Wig's administration is proving that that is not true. I remember one of the people that worked for one of the federal that was like high up, she was saying that, she felt like she was being taken out like yesterday's garbage. And I want to say, sis, I understand how you feel because that's exactly what happened in my job. Even though it was pre Angry Wig. But it's the age old thing that happens to all of us. Well, not all of us, but a lot of us that work in corporate America. They're excited about hiring us initially. Then when they find out that people like us and we seem to have a little influence, we go from pet to threat. Okay. State jobs are much more. Y'all need to go subscribe to Amber's YouTube, please. She does have a YouTube, okay? And not you perverts that be on here posting stuff either, okay? Let's see, baby, them government jobs were the thing. Both my parents have federal jobs. Penelope said I work for the state government, though. Much more stable at this point. It is, but the problem is that some of the state jobs are being affected by federal because they didn't know what the budget was going to be for them, because some of those are supported and funded with federal funds as well. But a lot of people are losing their jobs, and it's sad and that's why I said hate got us here. And what I don't understand is, what is the point of destroying the economy? Why can't we all just live harmoniously, get along, go to work, do our job, mind our business? You hired me for my experience, my skills, my education. We got all this debt, especially black women. We got all this debt from going to school. Baby, I'm still $250,000 in debt from law school, undergrad. And that's another thing. If I could tell anybody going back, this is my advice to all young people. If you don't if you don't have um, a scholarship, a full ride, go to community college. Okay. Also, get a trade. Get certificates. They work. Go into IT, become a plumber, an electrician. Hell, become a chef and be damn good at it too. Because, baby, I'll hire you once I get some money. Once I get my money together, I'm hiring the chef to come over and drop off meals to me because time is money and money is time. And with the way that with the exhaustion that I go through, because y'all know I got ADHD and I be at work working my butt off, hyper focusing, getting stuff done. Yes, congratulations. Amber got her 100 subscribers. I need 1,000. I'm sitting at, is it 491? Yeah, I'm sitting at 491. I need to get to 1,000 so I can get paid. So I can leave corporate America. But anyways, y'all, just be mindful. It's hard for me as someone who is, I see patterns because when you're ADHD, you'll see patterns and you're pretty much able to analyze and see things that others don't always see or pick up on. And sometimes that's problematic. People don't like it. And, like I was telling somebody, I said, I'm almost afraid to express that I even like my new job because I'm afraid. Because I said I was going to be antisocial, but I just can't help it. I'm social. And I said, why should I repress who I truly am? It's not like I'm running around here being just, outrageously loud and gregarious. I'm just friendly. And I also don't like, I like competencies. I'm very uh, compliant, risk management driven. So, and that's probably because of my legal background. But it's very scary that so many women, especially black women, are being forced out and pushed out, fired, packaged out. And sometimes what they'll do is that everything that they T to the J. Molly, you in danger. Don't be hating on my hair. I like my little Whitney Houston wig. Don't be hating on me, honey. Anyway, uh, it's just it's bad, and I'm grateful that I was able to get in my role because I think because the one of the managers at the company I'm at used to work with me in Long Beach, and she saw my resume. I didn't even know she was there. Uh, he said, "I'm quoting Ghost. You look great. Thank you." You're almost at 500. Yeah, I'm almost at 500. Hopefully I can keep rising. It seems like when I go live, that's the best time to do it. That's why I don't post, I don't upload anything anymore right now. I just like to get on here and talk. But anyways, there's another thing I want to discuss with y'all because a lot of people are just realizing this. I had never heard of it. But one of my sorority sisters sent this to our group chat about the Work Adjustment and Retraining Notification, the WARN Act. At first, the way the Instagram video was done was it seemed like it was only Texas, but it is a federal mandate, and it says that a federal law required employers with 100 or more employees to provide 60 days advance notice before a plant closing or mass layoff, with some exception. This notice allows affected workers and their family time to adjust, seek new employment, or pursue retraining. The act also requires employers to notify state and local officials so they can provide dislocated assistance. Uh, Oh, they're supposed to have a website, and there is a website. Texas, in particular, does have a website that shows that. And so, someone was in HR, and I said, "Thank God somebody knows something," because I was like, "I've never heard it." And it sounded bad because you see WARN Act. Um, Hell, my job should have done it, but it was only 26 of us, so oh well. Uh, but I think it's only fair. I think America, in some ways, even though we're taking 100 steps back, progressively, the WARN Act is kind of like how Europe is. Only Europe gives you about 6 months before you lose your job and benefits and stuff. They're like, "Hey, you gotta find a job." So you are actually more supported. But hey, it's great. My company just started giving us unlimited PTO. I know a lot of people said that's not a great idea, but for those of you in California and 4 other states, y'all lucky because they're gonna pay you out for your stuff. Keep on going with your goals because you will get there. I love children. I love babies. They just so thank you, Amber, for encouraging Miss Diva. So, anyways, I just wanted to talk about that. And I also feel like with Jimmy Kimmel, if we can get him back on air, I feel like if we start really looking at these companies and the statistics and who they're laying off, we can probably boycott them because dollars matter. Dollars and cents matter to these companies' bottom line. And they don't like when they lose money because then they got shareholders looking at them like, where is our dividends? Okay? Especially if they're publicly traded. Um, Also, let's see what else I want to talk about. Oh, this administration is out of control. Do they not know that Tylenol is a brand? Acetaminophen is the formulation of it, okay? Dollars in a capitalistic society. It does. Um, so y'all's health chief, brain rot, worm, broken lawnmower sounding head of whatever he is, the secretary of the Department of Human Services. What is? I don't know. You know, he a Kennedy in his shame. I was like, what happened to you? Anyway, he basically is still on this thing about how Tylenol causes autism, but Tylenol wasn't created until like the 50s, and autism was discovered in 1911. So in the 1950s is when Tylenol came along. Now, Cavenue is the parent company that now owns Tylenol. Oh no, he's a real Kennedy. That is Robert F. Kennedy Sr., former Attorney General of the United States, assassinated when he was making a run for president after his brother was assassinated. That is his namesake. Yes, he is a real Kennedy. Um, that is JFK Sr.'s nephew. Ted Kennedy's nephew. That's Robert's son. That's where, yes, that is Robert Kennedy. Okay. Um, we don't know what happened to him. I feel like his mama should have put him in that Special Olympics with them other children because he's something special, honey. Because his mom is the one that founded. Um, is this it? Or is it Marie Shriver's mama that founded Special Olympics? I don't remember. She's a Kennedy. Um, But they're going around telling this, and now Angry Wig is out here touting stuff and telling people, telling pregnant women to stay away from Tylenol. And also, I'm just like, okay, so Kevin, you know what to do. Y'all need to sue for defamation and slander. Hit him with the punitive damages. He want to sue everybody. You might as well join in and sue him too, because that is not true. Sue them all. Okay? It don't make any sense for you to be lying about Tylenol. Yes, there are tests that may show that there may be some things that Tylenol could affect, but why are y'all out here doing? I mean, it just don't make any sense. Like, and Tylenol makes a lot of money, baby. It helps with your fever during COVID. Mm-hmm. Anyway, what else is going on, y'all? But oh, and somebody was saying that they think that Stephen Miller really runs the country low key, and it's not Angry Wig. He just does as he's told. What else? Jeffree Star is back in the news along with Laura Loomer. Stay Pollock's all a joke. Bailey, I have to talk about it. I have a political background. I have a law degree. You're new here. We talk about it. Um, so, anyways, Jeffree Star decided once again he's going in after black women. Cardi B doesn't consider herself black, or she always identifies as Afro Latina, I think is what it is. I don't care. It don't make a difference to me. I love her music. But anyways, he gets on there and he's, basically, making up stuff about, well, shit, love you, you too. What? Well, shit, I'm dipping. Okay, bye, Bailey. Everyone fighting each other is the government way of keeping the focus off them NGLs. Wait a minute, what is NGL? Oh, what it is, somebody, somebody, somebody posted. Talking about acetaminophen spells Epstein files. And I'm like, that's all it is at the end of the day. Not gonna lie. Okay, thank you. Cause y'all know I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, NGL, not gonna lie. And that is the whole point of Project 2025 was to distract, cause chaos, wreak havoc, and take over and make this an occupied state where we have no rights. If we speak out against them, we are persecuted, prosecuted, and probably even unalived in some respects, and destabilized. So anyway, Jeffree Star got his crazy behind up on Al Gore's internet once again, talking crap about black women. Now, if y'all remember back in 2018, Jackie Ina, another makeup artist, creator, whatever, she pointed out how he has called her the N word with the hard R. And then and then he went in, I think he called her a gorilla. And I don't know why racist white males, especially, love to go and start referring to black women in particular as gorillas. Like, what is it about us? You are my favorite YouTuber because you are nice to us. I don't know any other way to be. I'm definitely not like some of the others. I've seen some people just crash out. And pretty much, let's be honest. If we're really honest about what's going on with people like Jeffree Star and even our current administration, it's a crash out. Baby, they have lost their ever loving mind. They can't take it. They cannot take the strength of blacks and minorities and other minorities. They just can't. But Jeffree Star got on there, clout chasing for, I guess he's a Nicki Minaj stan, and he gonna tell Cardi B that you're not even a rapper. You had 100 ghostwriters. Your ex is being my DM. You got 3 babies by a man who was never at home, and I'm just like, what does that have to do with anything? And why she got you in a tizzy is because you asked her to endorse some of your janky products and she said no. Jeffree is problematic and he needs to be completely canceled. Is he always saying stuff and talking shit just like that plastic blow up doll looking beach, she ain't beach blonde, but Laura Luma, she came after my Texas rep. Don't you mess with any of us in the D9. She may not be my soror, but she is my sister and she is a fellow Texan, okay? Jasmine Crockett, Representative Jasmine Crockett, who has more education than you'll ever have and more sense than you'll ever have, Laura Luma. I love how Tevin Davis, if y'all don't know who Tevin Davis is, watch him, how he drags her for filth and into the very utter bottom pits of hell. Um, oh, we're gonna talk about that. I talked about that Friday? Yeah, Friday, but I'll speak on that again because there's some more stuff going on right now with that means for you. So anyway, Laura Luma needs to shut her mouth because here's the thing: her and Megyn Kelly spend so much time attacking, especially educated black people. Here's the thing I've concluded about both of them. I don't know what Megyn Kelly's upbringing was like. I don't know what Laura Luma's upbringing was like, other than she claims that a brother was mentally ill. Her parents divorced at 12, and because of her brother's mental illness, she grew up in a very violent home. So all her life, I guess she's trying to say she had to fight, right? But she referred to Jasmine as ghetto, and I'm like, ghetto could be anyone or anything, and actually it is derived from what the Jewish community referred to as a ghetto, but they don't know that because they don't care. But Laura Luma and even Stephen Miller are both Jewish. Roseanne Barr is too. I didn't know that. But for some reason, something about black people, especially black women, disturbs them. And I said my theory is this one or two things. They talking all that yang. Yeah, you know, although we did get our dean removed when I was in law school. I wasn't there, and I'm so glad I wasn't there. Um, Years ago at my law school, those of us who had evening classes would come in sometimes and, hang out in the front lobby of the law school and of course, it wasn't that many of us black people in law school. I mean, I think the numbers were large when I was there, but the University of Tulsa really did not do a good job of recruiting. Well, let me not say that because I know the people recruiter, they tried, but it's all about money. And Lord knows the University of Tulsa um, holds on to their money. I don't know if that's changed, if they're giving out more money, but we have one of the largest endowments in the country. And I don't know why they don't use the doctrine of Cypre for some of these donors that have gifted stuff to us. The doctrine of Cypre basically just means that what we're going to do is, okay, you said you wanted this particular gift used for this purpose. Well, it's not enough to cover these expenses. Like for instance, let's say somebody gave $100,000 and they want a building to be constructed in their name. What we gonna do with $100,000, baby? We can't do nothing with that. We can buy some books or a collection, but we can't do that. So they can do that and change it. Say, hey, we want to convert this to like a scholarship fund or something. I don't know if they do that. I don't know. Um, but the dean comes in, and my friend said we were all sitting there, black and white. Hey, what's going on? Look at this, y'all. It's the ghetto. Oh, hey, everybody, it's the ghetto. Excuse me? And the worst person, let me say the worst person, because that's my little sister and I love her. But when my soror, who is like my little sister, heard that, oh, she blew the up. Okay. So, but he's not even from there. I think they're like from like Ohio or somewhere. And he honestly, y'all, he's Jewish. He didn't mean any harm. But at the end of the day, read the room and think about the language that you're using. And I'll never forget the next day, I was down in the library. I was doing some research or something. I was always like in a computer lab or something. And by me being like one of the more prominent black students at that time at the school, because I was very active in like all of the different clubs and stuff, like student government, the Black Law Student Association, and all that, he rolls up on me. Hey, Afia, I said, I said, now is not the time to talk to me, Dean. And I'll never forget the dean that was the library dean. He was just looking like, oh hell, and I was like, yeah. I said, not right now. I don't need to hear an apology. I wasn't there. I don't want to know. Needless to say, one of my sorority sisters wrote a letter and ended up in the Tulsa World, and he ended up, because he was tenured, he still had to have a job, so he went on to teaching, and ultimately him and his wife ended up leaving. But yeah, y'all got to be careful how the language that you use. And Laura Luma, like you said, she looks like Jigsaw from Saw. Like, and if you see her old pictures, whoo, baby, she she was hurt. Remember back in the day we used to use the term hurt? She was hurt. Okay, she was busted. Mm-hmm. She was no, she was ugly. Have you not seen? It's a picture that shows her with this blonde hair, this really crooked looking nose. Hell, she almost looked like, what's that actor that was in Wedding Crashers and Wilson, one of the Wilson brothers. Uh, but she just really, I don't understand that with a lot of our people, black, white, across the, like I said, body dysmorphia is real. Some people think that they ugly. Some people think they need to go get all these butt shots. Owen Wilson, she looked like a bad version of him. Okay. Uh, that picture, I don't know if that was like as she started to transition into the world of plastic surgery and gelatin shots or whatever the hell that stuff, silicone, all that, Juvederm. But I really don't understand. But I think people like her and Megyn Kelly either was bullied by black girls growing up, or they want to be so down with the culture, but they don't know how, so they lash out because they don't know how to say, "Will you be my friend?" I'm gonna head off to bed. Good night. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Means for you. Let me talk on what you wanted me to talk about real quick. So the David thing that was it D Ford? I don't know what his name is. All I got to say is if he ain't locked up by the end of the week, what are we doing? The evidence is all there. So it came out last week that he was selling shirts, these bloody shirts at his concert. It was fake blood. And he wanted people to buy them. They were selling for $35. But since then, he's rolled it back and taken it off his website. Not to mention, him and this girl been kicking it since she was like, what, 11 or 12 years old? Now, he was 17 at the time, but it still is not appropriate either way it go. And I also touched on the fact that one of the things that we also have to realize is that sometimes you end up putting young people at schools where it's going to be some crossover in age that leads to statutory rape charges. But I don't know what the specifics are. It's an open secret. There you go. Derek wants to know if I am a lesbian. Derek Stewart has entered the chat to ask if I am a lesbian. No, honey, I don't bump donuts. I don't. I have lesbian friends, but I do not bump their donuts. Okay. I am very much heterosexual. Yes. I'm just saying, no, I'm not Derek. And I don't know why you would say such a thing, but okay. I hope I don't know if I'm giving it. What does this got to do with anything, Derek? Oh, thank you. Maybe Derek is trans? Maybe? I don't know. And I remember okay, that's it. I remember when I was look at me going back. But what was the thing that you specifically wanted me to touch on? Um, means for you with the David situation. I just think that it's really sad and he needs to be arrested. I think he killed her. I think it may have been a sacrifice. Uh, I don't know what that means either. Um, but it's sad. And I wish more people oh, I think he got her pregnant and he killed her and didn't want to get exposed. Oh my God. The more I watch, yeah, because y'all know that's my world's right there is ID channel and oxygen, but the Philo that I have doesn't have oxygen if it does. That white man from town, that singer that killed the girl, they found her in the frunk, I think is what they call it on the Tesla. Instead of a trunk, it's called a frunk. And he killed this girl. I don't know, was she at this time, was she like 14 or 15? There's a lot of different reports about her age, but it's a singer. He spells his name D, the number 4, VD. His name is David. And in LA, this was recent. Just look it up. Look up singer who David, who killed his girlfriend Celeste. And so Celeste was a child. This is somebody's child, and she ran away over a year and a half ago. I don't know. Um, do fake boobs make an individual qualify as trans? I'm gonna put this out here because this is ridiculous. No, trans is a state of mind, and eventually you can become that by transitioning to whatever you want to be. You want to be male, female, or some people just are non-binary, where they call themselves them, which we know to often refer to two or more people. Um, I know who you. Okay, I don't know, but either way, that's what happened with the singer David, and I don't know what. Let's see what the investigation is because I don't know where they are with that. I don't. Celeste murder. So they think she might have been pregnant, but I don't know if her body was so decomposed. And I'm wondering at the time that she came up missing, because y'all know what people will do, right? They will kill somebody, and then to preserve them, they'll put them in like a freezer, and then maybe since he was getting ready to go on tour, I don't know, maybe he took her out and put her in the trunk. I don't know what the intent was and how the car got impounded. Like, you do know you have registration. Um, we don't know. We just don't know. But it's a very unfortunate situation. It's a cautionary tale. But I think I also shared that they don't have a cause of death because the body is so badly decomposed. I don't know if the coroner could even determine if she was pregnant at the time, because who knows how the body decomposition has gone. I watch a lot of forensic files too and cold case. Um, but it's very upsetting and it's disappointing. But before an arrest, a formal arrest can be made, what they have to do is do a full scale investigation, because a clock starts running from being charged up until the prosecution. So keep an eye out for that story. I just saw a story. ID Channel has a new show called The Tech Bros, and there's a new show where the guy, well, a new episode came out last night where the guy was suspected of murdering this lady he had met while out. And it was patently obvious he did it. I mean, who takes their beer bottles and leaves somebody if you didn't do something wrong? Like, who does that? That means you don't want any DNA. He completely scrubbed down this lady's apartment. She played the guitar on the regular. Her fingerprints couldn't even be found. And so what ended up happening, when the DNA results came back for the carpet fibers of her Persian rug that was missing, they incarcerated him and charged him with murder. But what ended up happening is that the tech who analyzed the fibers, it came out that they didn't have the right certification. Therefore, it was going to take up to a year, if not more, for him to be prosecuted. And so what ended up happening, the Constitution affords you what, the right to have a speedy trial. And unfortunately, he did not get a speedy trial, so they ended up letting him out. And while he was out, the woman that he murdered, her brother, happened to see him out on a date, confronted him. They got into it. The brother leaves, comes back. By now, dude to move to a coffee shop with his date. The brother told old girl to leave. And next thing you know, he done pulled that guy and shot dude. Shot him dead for killing his sister. And not only that, what ended up happening is that the coffee shop people called the cops, and while he was walking down the street and he heard the sirens, he blew his brains out. So now these parents got 2 children that are dead from this. And then the results of the fibers came out, and the test was the same. If only it had been faster, these losses wouldn't have happened. And this man, who was an architect in Silicon Valley, could have actually been fully prosecuted. I think her name was Harms, was her last name, but they say that in her body still hasn't been found, and her parents are now deceased, and they died not knowing where their daughter's remains were. So just saying, that's why you have to, be succinct. But my concern is now, by him still being out free, are they watching him? Because he could commit suicide at any given time. And speaking of suicide, I'm going to close this out. I know it's a dark topic to close out this segment of this midweek, a Diva Disturbed. But I didn't know him as a player because I really am not into sports, even though I have my undergraduate degree is in sports administration. But it's not a laughing matter. But football player Rudy Johnson uh, committed suicide this week, and they believe that CTE might have been the cause. So, that movie that Will Smith was in that portrayed the African doctor who made a big discovery about that. Oh, one more topic. So we're not going to close up on too negative. But anyway, prayers up for Rudy Johnson's family. Check in on your loved ones. If you can, get them some help. encourage them because you never know what people are going through. But y'all, FTC is suing Ticketmaster and Live Nation for over ticket brokers' fees. So basically, we got another pyramid scheme going on. Uh, the Federal Trade Commission sued Ticketmaster and its parent company Live Nation on Thursday, accused them of allowing brokers to snap up large quantities of tickets and profiting from it. So ticket resales is what's been going on, which I thought that was being policed, but apparently not. But all I know is that I'm grateful for StubHub, and I don't know if it implicates StubHub as well. But I got to see Beyonce in a decent seat. Didn't really get to see the stage because I really want to sit in the middle and not off to the side. But hey, I was there. I was in the building the very last night. Ticket was like 139, 140 or whatever, but it was worth it. But anyways, y'all have a great night. I appreciate those of you who joined the conversation. If you're new here, please subscribe to this channel. Hopefully we can get this video uploaded and you can catch it on the playback way back. I've been Miss Sophia the Diva. Enjoy the rest of your week and stay safe out there. Good night.